Alright, today we're working on this Supercharger that's out of a 2015 Land Rover Range Rover HSE Supercharged 3.0 V6. What a mouthful. I'm redoing the heads, head gasket, the whole thing. So while it's out, I want to go ahead and replace the coupler that's inside here. And it is a mess trying to figure out which coupler to use, not use. So I'm just going to walk you through the process and see how it goes. First things first is to take this apart so we can measure the actual coupler itself to make sure we get the right size. So I'm just going to show you all the struggles that happen with this thing along the way. If you're curious about the car, this is what I'm working on. I don't have the heads off yet, I'm just starting here, but it is a nice car. It's just that it's plagued with problems. So what I know is that we've got a T40. There's 3 of them on this right side, the driver's side. Breaking free. And then we'll just use our impact with an extension to zip them off. So, finding out together if that just separates or if we got other stuff to deal with. Looks like we got one 10 mil sitting right here. Come on. Go. Okay, so now it's coming off. Just like that, we got some cushy heat material right there. Now, we should only have to use the one side being removed, is my understanding. So we'll get these 10 mils off here, right here, all the way around. So someone has been in here. Let's look at look how red that is and sloppy. That's not OEM. It's probably going to be a bear to separate. Let's see what tools we have. Here's my thought. I'm going to try to just wedge in between here. See if I can get it to expand and pop open, because that red sealant is going to be in there pretty tight. I think that red sealant looks like anaerobic sealant as opposed to the black RTV you would use, and that red stuff holds tight until it like snaps apart. This may not work, or it might, but We're gonna find out together. That's too fat. Okay, stand by. Okay, I feel like this is making progress. I could be way off track. Don't want to have to buy a new snout for this thing. Oh yeah, okay, we're getting separation. Okay, remember it's only dumb if it doesn't work. But it's absolutely starting to separate in here. That is wet on the outside because that didn't get without oxygen. Now it's all sticky. But we're getting somewhere. Alright, so I've got some separation. I can get the edge of my putty knife in here. See, it's going through. But it's still stuck on this side. But someone was in here recently, because you should not have something that fresh. Oh, you know what? Look down in here. Can you see? Let's see. We'll do the thing. There's a bolt right there. Hey, let's not be dumb. Let's make sure all the bolts are out, huh? Well, let's get some torque on there. Of course it's not going to separate if there's a bolt holding it together. You know what I'm saying? Let's not be dumb when we do stuff. Okay. I had a magnet right here ready. It disappeared on me. Okay. Now. There we go. It helps when you don't forget a bolt. So, hey, that's why we're doing this, right? We're going to learn together. Alright, so this is going to come apart. I'll lay it down and see what happened here recently. Ah, look. It's already been replaced. Someone was in here and replaced this new one. It's just making a weird noise. What brand is that? Is that ZZ Parts? So what I'm going to do is, it was making a weird rattle on startup. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to measure this for you guys so you can see what size this is if you're looking to replace it, because the measurements are important to make different sizes. So just getting it out, let's see. Okay, so let's take some pliers. Come on. Alright, pulls out, needs to be cleaned back off again. Somebody has already done this, but let's see. Just gonna take a measurement, and I don't know where they measure it from, so we'll just do a couple of them. So this says 43.47, and let's go circle to circle. 50, because I think they make a 50 millimeter sized one of these, so let me reset that. .53, and then if we're taking measurements of the depth, 25.5 millimeter. So between those three measurements, and I know there was something about the year 2015 where they made a transition on sizes, but this ZZP one, these are the sizes I'm getting. So we'll do another measurement. It says 43.8, and then outside largest 51. Look when you do that again. .86. Don't you love digital calipers? 51 if I do it this way. So I don't know when this was replaced. The car's got 165,000 miles on it, so I couldn't tell you the wear factor of this. It goes away after, the noise goes away after it's warmed up, but it could be that the noise is coming from the bearings on the turbocharger itself down here on these. It feels, you can hear it's a little rattle with that, like the bearings need to be replaced. So we're not doing that today, but I definitely wanted to get to the bottom of what was going on with this, so it's been replaced. Finding the original ones have been, I couldn't find one, which is why I'm just randomly taking this apart to find what I could replace it with. And you got to have the right, you got to take the measurements to know which one to order, because they made a transition. So this is ZZP. They're sold all over the place online. So the names on these, I found them called, Supercharger coupler or an isolator. And if you look for Land Rover, Jaguar, or OEM parts on this, it's like they don't even exist. So they knew that it was crap. They stopped even making them. So the idea behind this was just to show you guys how to measure it, to take the measurement, what you have to do to take it off. Don't forget the bolt in the middle. If you guys got anything else for the group, put it on there. But that's all I want to do is talk about this little bit and that thing. Thanks. Alright, good morning. We're going to go ahead and attempt to drain and refill the supercharger fluid on this thing. So it's a T30 that I got fit in here, and we're just going to crack it loose and see what happens with it. Still drinking my coffee, gotta get an early start. I've never done this before on this car, so making some assumptions that this is the drain and fill hole. Alright, the idea here is I'm gonna just tip this thing up and the fluid will come out into my bucket. The supercharger's kind of heavy. Yeah. Okay, well that is confirmed the drain and fill hole. Just let that drain for a minute. Alright, so after shaking it for a while and letting it try to drain as much as possible, this is what's left. The only thing I really have to measure milliliters or small quantities, just one of these, sicky cup things that come with your Dayquil. So I'm just going to measure it out real quick, see what we got. Alright, so there was right about 80 milliliters that I got out of here. There was some that had spilled out and things like that, so, well, I shouldn't say that's probably other oil, but so I'm just going to put in right about 90 milliliters it's best not to overfill these things. Just like a car can be more dangerous and detrimental than if not. So I'm just gonna use my little measuring cup here and top it off like we're gonna be taking some shots, and then shouldn't have just had coffee, I guess. A little shaky. So we'll just pour that back in here. I'll put 90 milliliters in. So I bought this off Rock Auto. What's jacked up is that it's shipped with no cap. I can't even seal this thing. So it's supposed to be a one-time use anyway, right? You dump the whole thing in. I just don't want to overfill it too much. So I'm just going to stick with a little bit more than what I pulled out of it, because I don't know what's in there without, you know, completely breaking the seal, taking it off, resealing everything. Then I would probably just pour the whole bottle in. Alright, cap's going back in. Finger tighten and then drive it down. Just snug. Alright, that's it.